Hey guys, so I got a new car to show you today. It's not a new car, it's an old car, but it's new to me, but it's not really new. Because this car is kind of unique. It's because it's the first car I've ever bought twice. I've never rebought another car in my life. I'm not against it, but I never owned a car that I actually missed so much that I wanted to buy it again. Pretty much the exact same car. So this is that case right now. So this is the same production element that I sold, and I regret it. Ever since the day I sold it almost, I regretted selling it. But I got another one like it. The first one was green. This one's kind of beige. So let's take a look. Now here's my Element. It's no way a perfect car. It's got a lot of work that I need to do to it still, but I'm going to have a good time fixing it up. But you know, when I sold my Element, I always regretted it, thinking, man, that was a great car. Wish I had it still, and here I am. I do have it again. And let's take a look around. I'll show you a few things that makes this car so great. Alright, first thing is just the size. The size of this Element, it's actually so compact, but it's so roomy and functional at the same time. It's got these suicide doors, which really allows you to, get in and out really easy and put in big items really easily. So despite being small SUV, it's actually really roomy. Let's take a look inside. One drawback of suicide doors is that you can't have that door close and open this one. You see, it just doesn't work like that. You have to close this guy first before you close this guy, and that's the case of all suicide doors. It sounds perfect, but it's not perfect for that reason. But look at that, it's got some nice storage in there. Here's the cockpit. Pretty roomy. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy at all. It's in pretty decent shape. It's a 2004, and just those upholsteries right there, but not too bad at all. Look at the floor. So this floor, you would think you could hose it down, but you can't. There's no way to drain. So it's a plastic floor, but and it's waterproof, but don't hose it down. It's got these chairs that hang up like that. So convenient. Let me show you guys how it comes down. You unhook it here. Open up those legs. And you could see it lays flat, so you could actually make a pretty easy makeshift bed if you want to, without really any effort at all. But let's swing this guy up. That's good. So the other one does the same thing, of course, and just look, you could have 1 seat, 0 seats, 2 seats. Let's go back, and there's, even with the seats down, you still have all this room. And not just that, it's got this tailgate lift door. So this doesn't come stock, so this is something you have to add yourself. And the person who had it before me already did the escape hatch. And now you bring it down, and you have this really convenient lift gate right here that you could sit down, bring down. This door lifts up, so you could see the room and the functionality of this car. It's just really great. I mean, I've never seen such a functional car in such a small amount of space. But I'm going to be turning this into a camper because that's what I did with my previous one. But it's a great work vehicle too. It's not a van, it's not a truck, it's not really an SUV vehicle. It's a work vehicle. My My EX model has this sunroof up here, and this sunroof is unique in that you could actually just remove the whole thing, so that's really cool. There's some camping options where you would actually buy something that would sit up top. There'd be a bed up there, and you could lift it up and enter through that sunroof. That's really cool. Those units are a little expensive, and I don't plan to use it, but that's an option if you did want it. But you could see there's so much headroom in such a small form factor. Alright, let's take a look underneath the hood. And this car is not perfect, again, like I said, and this is one of the things that's not perfect about this car. It's this motor. It's a 2.4, basically a Honda Civic engine. It's a little underpowered for such a heavy car with such bad aerodynamics, but it gets the job done. The gas mileage is not that good. You would think it would be better, but I think when I had my Element, it was getting just like 20 miles a gallon. It just wasn't that good, and it was weak at the same time, so that's the drawback. Let's look at the engine. But the nice thing about this engine right here is that it's everywhere. If it does die, you could just buy a used engine and replace it pretty cheap, relatively cheap. I mean, replacing engines is not cheap. Another thing is that the power steering, mine was leaking on my Element, and judging by the fluid around this power steering pump, this one's leaking too. So that's something I'm going to have to fix. But other than that, it's not too bad. If you look at the suspension, the struts and coilovers, I just had that replaced by a shop. I didn't do it myself. So there it is. The suspension on this car sucks. That's why I needed to get new ones, because it's just not that good. But this will make it better, getting a new one. And this is an all-wheel drive version, so that's really cool to have an all-wheel drive version of this car. So there you go, man. It's my new toy to play around with, to build a camper. And like I said, it's the first car I ever bought twice, so it's probably the closest thing to the perfect camper car I'm going to find.